It's half-time in this evening's All-Ireland hurling qualifier between Tipperary and Wexford. It stands Tipperary 15 points, Wexford 7. Tomás Mackay and Pete Finnerty here with me in studio. Pete, one thing about this, the way it's going so far anyway, this isn't telling us any more about Tipperary than we knew before the game.
It's not, and whereas Liam Sheedy will be happy in the dressing room at half time to be leading by 8 points and having scored 13 of them from play and only 2 from place balls, there's no questions being asked of them. They'll be put under pressure in no area of the field whatsoever. And going forward for Tipperary, they prefer if this was going to be a tough, hard physical battle where they come out in the last 10 or 15 minutes and win it. But so far, it's like a glorified challenge match, opening a pitch somewhere. That's all it's like now. And it's Wexford that hasn't brought their game to it, because in fairness to Tipperary, they look sharper today. They look up for the game. Their forwards are moving well. Their defence is in top. So Tipperary can only face what's in front of them. But you're right, they're not going to learn anything today.
No, they can't. And in that kind of pace of a game, Tomás, you know, it lets Tip do what they do very well, which is score some lovely kind of very, very classy points at times.
Yeah, and I mean, there's always been a lot of movement into Tipperary forward, and again we're seeing it today. And I mean, they got some excellent scores in that first half period as well. And I know Pete is saying kind of Wexford, and we're saying Wexford are way off the pace, but you've got to do what you got to do, right? It's a championship match. You've got to go out and you've got to build on your performance, and right, and certainly in the first half period they got tremendous scores, and I mean that's a great catch by Noel McGrath. And again, as I said, I mean, okay, if you watch it again in a replay, I mean, he's gone up very easily to get the ball, right, you know. So, but Lark Corbett, this is a tremendous finish, right? But it probably shows the signs when, like, Lar was in full forward there in the first half period. Not a lot not happening inside for Lar, so they have to bring him out the field. They move Seamus Cannon out from centre forward to wing forward as well. So there is a lot of flexibility within the Tip forward line as well, you know. And that was a good point there by Garrod Ryan as well. I mean, he's been playing very, very well with his club the last couple of weeks. Probably deserved his chance, but maybe want to see more in the second half. Another 2 or 3 points wouldn't go astray with him.
Sure, yeah. Pete Finnerty, you were a great right wing back on that Galway team and a great Galway half back line. I don't remember you scoring too many points like David Young has been getting here today, mind you, in his first half.
Too many kind of guys to look after him up front, and right, Pete?
That was it,
I won't mention any fellas now.
The ball was lighter or heavier in my day. He's having a fantastic game, David Young. His debut at right half back, and he's a lovely, skillful hurler that's come through the underage ranks for Tipperary. Both right and left side, he can strike the ball, and he has that air of confidence about him that youthfulness gives you. He is able to break forward, looks up, not looking for anybody else, take the responsibility on himself and put them over the bar. 3 points in the first half from play. As I said earlier, the same amount as Wexford have scored in their entire forward line. But he's a fantastic prospect, and it's unbelievable that he can start so well in the first round of the championship for him.
Yeah, well, I suppose Toomey Vara's produced a couple of good ones, and he's another one to us. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's good to see youngsters getting their chance like that. No doubt about that.
I want to have a look at another incident. This happened right at the start of the match. You remembered Banville got involved with the Tipperary full back in this, and I think, you know, as the touch of the Paul Galvins about this, there could be repercussions maybe during the week.
Yeah, I mean, when we see it again, you know, I mean, everybody is uptight at the start of the match, and look, there was a bit of handbag stick, but look here, look, there was a clear strike here, right? I mean, with the Hurley first, right? Now, this is an issue, Michael, that I have been advocating for the last couple of months. I mean, this helmet situation, when guys get themselves involved like that, the first reaction they're at now is pulling the helmet off some guys. And we see the situation here. Declan Fanning was not able to come back on the field again, right, because of the head injury. I mean, it wasn't from a belt of the Hurley, it was actually from pulling the helmet off his head. And at one stage, when you see the helmet being torn off, it was actually his nose nearly was coming away with it as well. And we're seeing so much of that in the last couple of weeks, right? I mean, I think you mentioned something about in the US with
American footballers in the piece, you know? They have a helmet in violation, I think they call it.
Yeah, you
actually touching a player.
You can't actually touch the helmet. Don't mind pull or drag it
off. Exactly. Yeah.
Tomás is right. Since the helmet has come in, you see it in club as well. I see it in Galway. Like, you know, the first thing a person goes for now is the cage and pull him by the head and drag him to the ground to give you control of him. But it's frustrating to think that Dermot Ling is sitting above in the stand today and he can't participate in this game, and he got a straight red card, and those 2 players are allowed to remain on the field.
I mean, it was clear. I mean, there was a strike with the Hurley from Banville first, right? Then Declan Fannin reacts to his retaliation. He pulls the helmet off as well. So, I mean, like Banville was involved in the helmet situation, the same as Declan Fanning was as well. But there was a clear strike. And the situation, okay, if the referee doesn't see it, Michael, they're out in front of 2 umpires. Right, looking at that clearly, you know, and we've seen over the last couple of days, Pete is right, fellas have got sent off for something similar, you know, so again, it remains to be seen whether anything will happen.
I suppose the ref can only do what he can do at the time. He has to make a judgment call at the time. Is there some facility that should be there, Pete, afterwards to come back and say, you know, that wasn't as bad as it looked originally, or
the possibility.
Or are we asking for too much?
You're asking for too much, really, don't you know? But you'd be expecting, as the Moss says, there's two people in white coats. They've nothing else to do except for patrol what's in front of them. But instead, what they're doing is they're below watching a ball that they can control. They've no decision to make on it. Yeah. Instead of looking out, and that went on from what, maybe 30 seconds?
30 seconds, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, again, I repeat, I've been saying as well the last week, we've been seeing too many red cards in hurling. I hate to see red cards in hurling and stuff. But if there's going to be consistency, what has happened over the last couple of weeks, we haven't seen it here today in that incident, certainly.
Nobody wants to see that in hurling, and I accept that. I thought they should have got a red card each, both of them, because in fairness, Banville did start it, but Declan Fanning continued it on then afterwards, and he was the one who caught the helmet first, and then Banville reacted to that. It went on long enough for the umpires to see it, and as you said, the umpire or the referee can only do make a decision on what's told to him. We have seven officials at the game.
That's right.
And, you know, and when does the linesman ever step in and say, look, this is going on here or that's going on there? Never. You know,
okay.
Give them more responsibility.
All right, we take another short break here on the programme. Back with the second half of Tipperary and Wexford right after that.